Truvicalitas. Huh? You don't understand? How come? It's Esperanto, which is created by Polish expert Zamenhof in 1997. Initially, it was intended to be the universal second languages for the international community. With it, everyone in the world can be able to communicate without language barriers. You never heard about it? What? It has died out? It is the Tower of Babel? Probably the god mixes this monis by the Tower of Babel. Anyway, in the real world, we do have many interesting things you must have known, like the Esperanto, which are initially created in a way or for one purpose, but evolve into and remain to be the opposite. In this video, let's check them out one by one and discover their whys.
Ready, go!
Plastic. Today, plastic is everywhere. Here, even here. Even people name as our age as the age of plastics. When it comes to its creation and its purpose behind, it can't be more simple: making money. In 1907, in New York, the father of plastic industry, Leo Baekeland, successfully got patent of his new invention, Piglet, the world's first fully synthetic plastic. It doesn't matter if you don't know how to read the chemical name of Piglet. What really matters is it remarks the beginning of the age of plastics. And only for more than 100 years, plastic has become so ubiquitous and convenient in extremely wide application to most branches of industry that hardly could we live without it. This great invention helped Baekeland to receive many awards and honors, and pushed him to be one of cover figure of Time magazine. Ironically, in 1978, 34 years later after his death, a wave of environmental protection arose. Plastic suddenly became an evil due to plastic's slow decomposition rate in natural ecosystems. Massive plastic products starting in the early 20th century has caused widespread environmental problems. Overnight, this remarkable invention and its successful applications and products turned into being one of the greatest threats to our environment on Earth. Towards the end of the 20th century, the plastic industry promoted recycling in order to assert environmental concerns, while continuing to produce virgin plastic. The main companies producing plastics doubted the economic viabilities of cycling at the time, and this is reflected in the contemporary plastic collection. But unfortunately, plastic collection and recycling is largely ineffective because of a failure of contemporary decision-making mechanism that results in a complexity and amount of cleaning and sort past customer plastics too high for contemporary methods. Most plastic produced has not been reused, either being captured in landfills or persisting in the environment as plastic pollution, which is creating garbage patches in all over the world oceans and contaminating terrestrial ecosystems. Surprisingly, in Mariana Great Trench, at more than 10,000 meters deep, the deepest oceans area, humans could dive and reach so far. Besides fantastic and animal creatures there, adventurers also detected plastic. Even according to a report about microplastics pollution from the United Nations, its negative effects in oceans is threatening fertility stability on young women, as the food chains have looped in the whole ecosystems since 1960s.
What? Since my invention is too good to use, it turns out a worldwide poison. How could? I just want to make money and realize my American dream initially.
Nuclear power. Another powerful invention is nuclear power. Originally in early 1940s, the intention of nuclear weapon invention results from arms race against Nazi Germany and other fascist countries. In August 1939, Hungarian-born physicist Leo Szilard, Eugenie Wigner, drafted the Einstein-Szilard letter, which warned of a potential development of extremely powerful bombs of a new type. In order to take advance and stop enemies, numerous top scientists and military talents worked hard in Manhattan Project in the United States, with alliance from UK and Canada. Finally, the nuclear weapon came out, and in the end of World War II, would provide a possible source of bombs with a destructiveness vastly greater than anything now known. In scientists' eyes, this is best job. In Japanese cities, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, objectively, it did debate Nazi Germany and other fascist countries and ended the World War II in a quickly way. However, after temporarily world peace, this hyper-bomb has triggered another round of arms race worldwide. Until today, a few powerful countries have obsessed nuclear weapons: the United States, Russia, UK, France, China, India, Pakistan, Israel, and maybe more. In the name of world peace, the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons is created to aim to reduce the spread of nuclear weapons, but its effectiveness has been questioned. Nowadays, North Korea and Iran have been continuing their nuclear weapon or nuclear power projects. On individual level, the rain effect of nuclear weapons is profoundly destructive. According to experts in International Red Cross, today, those affected ordinary people there in Japan were still receiving medical treatment after 76 years later. On international politics level, although political scientists have used game theory and intentional treaties to make balance and keep the world peace so far, all humans are still literally under stress of this great invention. Damn. What?
It is still an unsolvable problem?
Cryptocurrency. In order to play against and replace current flawed financial system, in 2009, just in the last financial crisis, thanks to blockchain technology, an unknown person or group of people using the name Satoshi Nakamoto created a new cryptocurrency. The original outlook: Bitcoin is a centralized digital currency without a central bank or a single administrator that can be sent from user to user on peer-to-peer Bitcoin network without the need of intermediaries. In 2010, the first known commercial transaction using Bitcoin occurred when a programmer bought 2 Papa John's pizza for 10,000 Bitcoin, which remarked such new currency has been recognized in part of the public. After that, its price has experienced dramatic ups and downs, since more and more people and more governments globally came into this game. On the public side, they rush into this financial hype and bubbles for investing and making money as a rising new currency. Once cryptocurrency should have become the next formal currency one day in future, because they believe their participation and involvement at an early stage could help them to take best advantage of investment leverage and become rich. Many famous economists criticize it another biggest bubble in finance history though. On the government side, those financial hubs have grown incredibly from a market noise to a financial legislation challenge against the current financial system stability, which does threat the status of the central banks and the core governments in many countries by a series of technological innovations. Although a few countries have prohibited this trading in the last 5 years, interestingly, those bans should have increased the variability of bitcoins as a financial product, which in some way has enhanced the value of it in the long term. Interestingly, the expected pandemic has become another historical turning point happened. Around 2020 to 2021, central banks in many countries turned to accepting and using digital currency in a subtle way. In December 2020, The Central Bank of Sweden has become the very first authority globally to issue a digital currency, which will help the country to become the world's first cashless society. In the early 2021, China has announced the development of a national digital currency, the digital currency electronic payment. In the United States, the Fed is working actively on the same thing in the face of a complicated scenario. So, obviously, the decentralized designed digital currency is turning to be the complete opposite that will be issued by the traditional central banks. In other words, it is become its own enemy. What? To many invention, especially man-made invention, from his creation to application, from his father or mother to his users. All process can be very complicated by human intelligence and by human nature. When something great turns into something evil, who should be blamed on? Who should take responsibilities to fix? In my view, the answer is for any man-made things, no matter how advanced they are, please design a shortcut to vanish them off entirely when you created them. Thank you.